Okay, thank you for coming. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President Daly.
Here.
Vice President McNall.
Here.
Trustee Clements.
Here.
Trustee Headland.
Here.
Trustee Valentine. Here.
Thank you, Ms. Platt. Welcome, everybody. Happy Election Day. If anybody is at home watching this live right now, I am advising you to go vote. I believe the polls are open till 9 p.m. Our next Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 16th at 7 p.m. right here in the auditorium. And the workshop topic will be the arts update. And I believe it is our first arts update, so we're excited about that. I'll also just take a quick moment to congratulate the new NYSBA board president. NYSBA is the New York State School Boards Association. And the new president is Peggy Zugaby, who has been the Area 10 director, which is where we exist. And she has been a representative for our region for a very long time and a board member for a very long time. And she attends the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association meetings religiously for years. And so she is a public servant, and we are very lucky to have her becoming the board president of NYSBA. So congratulations to her. And I will turn it over to Dr. Benante for his update.
Thank you, Ms. Daly, and welcome to the members of the board and the members of the community that are with us this evening. I just have a few updates before we get to our special presentation. The first is, you're all aware, today was one of our superintendent's conference days, and I just wanted to express my appreciation to Mr. Elder, our Director of Curriculum and Human Resources, our building principals, and our faculty for their engagement on a variety of topics throughout the day today. I'll just mention two. There were several, but Josh had started off this morning with our faculty and speaking to the Haldane Essentials and how those essentials, again, can be interwoven into each staff member's respective curriculum. And our staff spent time this morning examining their units of study throughout the course of the year and just bringing a higher level of attention to what those units are and how those essentials can be integrated into units of instruction. So I'm appreciative of that. And this afternoon, I briefly had some time to spend with our secondary teachers in a workshop from Teaching History and Ourselves. You would have heard Mrs. Sniffen throughout over the last year plus, speaking of the high school's work with Teaching History and Ourselves. Great workshop led by Karen Schur from Facing History, which focused on creating a brave space. What does a brave space look like, feel like, and sound like for our staffs and for our students, where we can have conversations around critical topics related to race and racism in our curriculum. And one of our teachers, I don't know if this was one thought or a combination of two thoughts that Karen cited, but it stood out to me. What does a brave space look like and feel like? It feels like the wind, and it sounds like my dog barking as the environment within a classroom. I thought that was great. And I know the board and I will have opportunity to talk more about equity in our schools at a retreat in January. And just wanted to cite some of the work that continues to go on among our faculty and staff at the building level. Two other things I wanted to mention. Just a congratulations to our girls and boys soccer teams, both who had made it to the sectional finals. Unfortunately, both suffered tough defeat in the sectional finals, but great seasons nonetheless. Congratulations to the students who participated on both of those teams, the coaches and their families. Our football team will play in the sectional finals next week. We're looking forward to that. And really, this is the culminating week or weeks of the fall sports season, and of which many of our students participated. Tennis, cross country, Cross country will be competing this weekend. Volleyball just ended their sectional games or tournament yesterday. So it's been a great athletic season and great to see so many of our students participating in athletics over the course of the fall. Lastly, just one COVID-related update. Last week, the New York State Department of Health had released guidance to local departments of health, which indicated that they do not recommend, however, they would allow for a test-to-stay policy to be implemented in their schools. And what this would allow is any student that was identified as being a close contact of an individual with COVID or a COVID-positive individual would be allowed to, under a test-to-stay policy, to continue to remain in school, considering that they submit to a test, COVID test each day. I was speaking with the Putnam County Department of Health as well as other superintendents yesterday about this, and the County Department of Health is not yet ready to allow for such a policy. I'll be candid, I did express my support for it and my desire on behalf of Haldane for it to be put into place. We want kids in school. Our kids have missed a lot of school. And while I am understanding of the many logistical challenges that such a policy would present to a school, the last 18 months have been nothing but logistical challenges that with hard work we've been able to overcome. And I feel that this would just be one more hurdle, albeit not an insurmountable one, that we would have to overcome, but to the benefit of our students to be able to access school and to avoid a prolonged quarantine. So we'll see what comes with that. It may become an advocacy issue. I think other surrounding counties, I know other surrounding counties are also deliberating on this. So having an uneven application of that policy it would be problematic. And I know at the state level, organizations have advocated for a uniform state policy, but this is where some of, I think, the politics come into play, unfortunately, where, and this has happened a couple of times over the course of the last year on matters related to COVID. So we'll see how this plays out, but I did want to mention that in case there were any questions around, well, what's the school's decision? Because this did get some headlines last week when the state released its guidance to the local DOHs. With that, Jen, that concludes my remarks, unless there's any questions from the board.
Okay, great. So we'll move into our special presentation, which is by our auditors. So our audit report for 2020-21 is being presented by Kylene Fitsik, who is the audit manager of Bonadio and Company. And we welcome you and thank you for being here.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Kylene Fitsik. I am an external auditor with the Bonadio Group and was the manager on the school district's engagement. We recently completed the audit and went over the reports in detail with your audit committee. I'm just here tonight to go over a summarized version of the audit, high-level results, and answer any questions that any of you may have. First, I would like to thank Anne and the business office for all of their assistance during the audit. As always, they're very responsive to all of our requests and very, very well prepared. There are 3 deliverables that we provided you. The first is your financial statements. The second is your audit of the extra classroom financial statements. And then the third is the required communications letter. First, the school district's annual audit of the financial statements includes the independent auditor's report, and that's the opinion on the financial statements. We are issuing an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. An unmodified opinion is the highest level of assurance that we as auditors can provide you. The other report that is included in your basic financial statements is the government auditing standards report. And this report basically just requires to gain an understanding and report on your internal controls over the financial reporting. We noted no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies in the financial reporting over those internal controls. The second part of the report is to assess the compliance with laws, regulations, grant contracts, that non-compliance could lead to a material financial statement impact. And we're pleased to note that there was no material non-compliance for these requirements. You are limited to retaining 4% of the school budget in unreserved, unappropriated fund balance. You are right at that at 4.00%. Also, something to note, which is in the required communications letter that we provided you, the school district adopted the Governmental Accounting Standards Statement number 84, GASB 84, for the fiduciary activities. This eliminated the fiduciary funds and moved the funds into a special revenue fund, which is a governmental fund within your financial statements. So something new within the financial statements that we had to show was a change in accounting principle restatements. So when you see that being mentioned, that is what it's referring to, is the GASB 84. Next, to move on to the school district's annual audit of the extra classroom financial statements. We issued a qualified opinion on that financial statement. Again, it's very standard that through the years you have this opinion, and most other school districts do have that and do receive that opinion. It's comparable. It's a completeness modification with regards to the cash before it is received by your central treasurer. So that's a very high-level review of your audit results. Thank you for having me. I'm open to any questions that any of you may have.
Any questions? No. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Ms. Andinio and her team for another excellent report. Thank you for all of your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will be voting on this later in the meeting, approving it later on. So we're going into our communication from the public. This is our first public comment section of the meeting. This is reserved for special presentations and agenda items. So I'll just read the statement. The Haldane Board of Education desires and values input from the entire school community. This first public comment section is reserved for comments on any special presentations or active agenda items. For those who wish to address the board, please sign in and state your name for the record. Please keep your remarks to 3 minutes or less. Disparaging remarks and discussion of district personnel are prohibited. Although we do not engage in dialogue, we are listening. Please leave your contact information with our district clerk, Ms. Platt, for prompt follow-up from the board president or superintendent. There will be a second public comment section later in the meeting. Okay, so going into information reports, these are here for everybody's review. And then going into consent agenda minutes. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
These are our minutes from the October 19th workshop meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Consent agenda financial. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion? You will note in here the external audit report item is listed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda personnel. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Going into new business, the CSE CPSE recommendations. Ms. Platt?
Be it resolved that, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the recommendation of the Committee on Preschool Special Education and Committee on Special Education as presented.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Going into the award for our capital referendum, Ms. Platt?
Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby awards the Capital Referendum 2019 Phase 2 Electrical Mechanical Upgrades to Joe Lombardo Plumbing and Heating of Rockland, Incorporated, 321 Spook Rock Road, Suffern, New York, 10901, in the amount of $631,600, and authorizes the superintendent to sign the contract on behalf of the district.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Dr. Benante, do you want to make any comments here?
Just one. We're probably coming upon the time where the board would benefit from hearing an update from Tim on the status of what has been completed with the 2019 capital referendum and what is still to be done. You may recall that this was a project that was divided into 3 phases. This is phase 2. However, due to a variety of factors, as we're planning for phase 3, we're likely to need the board's input on and to provide the board with a scope of where we're at, but also to solicit some additional information from the board to direct the administration on what steps to take moving forward. So overall, we've been satisfied with the way these projects have gone, Tim's management of these projects, most of which have been done on time, with just some minor punch list items to conclude afterwards, and I'm encouraged to think that will occur through the remainder, but looking into next school year, we want to make sure we're on the same page with the board as it relates to the next phase.
Great. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, communication from the public. This is for all school district matters. So a catch-all for anybody who would like to share anything. Okay. Going into board reflections. Anybody have anything to share?
Other than potentially calling out Dr. Benante for choosing only to attend one of the 2 soccer finals this weekend, I attended both, and I just have to say it was just the number of people who were actually not associated with the team who came out to both was fantastic. The students, the parents, it was a great show of support, I think, for Haldane just in general. And as he said, they both unfortunately lost, but I think both look forward to a really good season next year. It was really a great community event, I thought.
Nice.
And this is just a little heads up for me that we're actually entering into the first part of superintendent evaluation season. So,
Imagine that we're there already.
yeah, this is just a heads up that it's in process. I've had a quick conversation with Dr. Benante. I'll have a schedule laid out for us. Maggie, I'm more than happy to touch base with you about the process if that would be helpful. I guess the other thing is I'm assuming I am leading it again this year. It's not anything that I
Thank
like.
you, Peggy. That would be
know,
amazing.
But I'm more than happy to, pass the torch or share the responsibility, but I am happy to do it again. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I am continuing to travel a lot, so some of the meetings I might be attending virtually, but I think it'll all work out.
So we'll start sometime in December and.
Yes, so December, the plan is to have the informal sort of mid-year evaluation done before we break for the winter holidays, and then sort of at the end of the year after the budget, do the end-of-year evaluation the way we did before. But there won't actually be too many options with the mid-year evaluation based on what I present next week, but folks can weigh in on.
Yeah, and then the board's self-evaluation, we kind of take form after the superintendent one is firmed up. So that'll be next.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Peggy, for remembering that we need to do that and volunteering to lead it. So thank you. It's a big help. Okay. Dr. Benante, anything you'd like to share?
I just may have incorrectly cited the organization we were working with this afternoon, Facing History in Ourselves. I think I said Teaching History in Ourselves, my mistake. And my apologies for not making it to the girls' soccer game on Sunday. I was at my own children's soccer game. A lot of soccer this weekend, but
Clone yourself.
I know. But to John's point, the girls played great. And this is where Local Live is a great feature for us, so we can always watch and stream wherever we are. So.
Yeah, actually, my parents have been able to watch from
Yeah, it's
upstate
nice.
New York,
It's a
which
nice
is great.
feature,
It's
and
Nice.
one that we afford to our families as well when the games are here. So, girls play down in Nyack, if I'm not mistaken, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay, then, I would like to make a motion to adjourn. This may be the quickest meeting on record.
This is a record.
This is under 20 minutes. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second, please?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You guys picked a good one to come to. 20 minutes.